The last couple of weeks have really felt like a lot. So when Goldspot dropped on Mystery Dip this month, I I jumped right on board. I needed a little retail therapy and this felt like the best way to do it. And I just love a mystery box. And the Goldspot mystery boxes, they're called mystery dips, and they seem to be the best fountain pen mystery boxes that I've been able to find. If you guys know another one I should check out, feel free to leave it in the comments. I adore mystery boxes. Now, with the Goldspot mystery dips, it's not something they do every month. It's somewhere between every other and every quarter that they do one. And each box is unique. The price point is unique depending on what's inside the box. For this particular one, it was $203. And the description said that you'd get a fountain pen with a 14 karat gold nib and that it'd have a cartridge converter, or maybe it's a cartridge or converter. I can't remember exactly. And then you were guaranteed a full bottle of ink and then some. And I do know from what they posted on their Instagram that it wasn't going to be, quote, a cheap bottle of ink. So we'll have to see about that. Going off of all of that, I have made a couple of guesses. I have no idea if I'm right, but I like trying to guess what it might be. So I have 3 guesses of what pen could be in here. The first one is the Magna Carta Mag 650, which I think was made exclusively for Goldspot. So that's kind of my front runner. Then I have a Sailor Pro Gear or an Omus Bologna, I think is what it was called. Those all hit the right price point for me, but it also depended on how much ink is in here and what that was going to cost. It wasn't a lot to go on. So those were my predictions. If you guys have a prediction and you want to put it down below, I'd be super excited to see what you guys thought from that little bit of a description. It could also be something that they don't even have in their store. They did that to me last time. I was so surprised, and it's actually become one of my favorite pens because it's so smooth. I'll link that up above for you guys. Anyhow, let's get into this box and see what we got. Now, if you haven't seen me unbox one of these before, what I tend to do is will unbox it, look at everything, and then I will go and take a few minutes to figure out the value, what is the product going for, so we can really see what we got in our box. Hey guys, it's Editing Jess, and I just wanted to put a plug in for a friend of mine. Her name's Teresa. She just started her own channel, and I convinced her to buy the same box. So if you want to see somebody else's point of view of the exact same thing, well, the same mystery box, she didn't get the exact same thing as me, go over and check her out. She's TKS_Inky_Chronicles. I'll have her linked down below, and I'll make sure to link her up above as well so you guys can go check her out. I'm so excited to see what she thinks of this box. I'm going to open it in this direction because the receipt is right there on the top. So, ooh, okay. Oh, it did say that we'd get some kind of reusable packaging. So this must be our reusable packaging, which looks to be a canvas tote. Oh, that's kind of fun. Very Goldspot. I like the colors. I think it's probably a really good size for taking things with you. There are a couple extra like fuzzies on it, but it doesn't, like, it feels like a nice canvas bag. And you have a pocket on the outside here, and there is a button closure as well. So like a crafty time bag that you could take someplace with you or put your things in. Seems to be a really good size. I don't know what size it would be. A little over an A5 probably. Okay, let's see what's inside. You guys get to see with me at the exact same time. Okay, ready? Ooh, platinum. I did have that on my maybe list. I wonder which platinum it's going to be. Okay, we're going to set that aside. Oh, wow. Is this one of the Colorverse ink pairings? These are cool. And the bottle of ink is really big. Okay, I love Colorverse inks. Like, there's a couple, like every company has a couple that you're like, not for me. But most of my Colorverse inks I really love. I've gotten their, I've gotten their ink vent the last couple of years. Well, they've only done it twice. And I've gotten both of those and really liked them. So let me see here. Yes, Colorverse. I was going off of the space stuff because all of their inks and like other things are usually space themed, which is really cool. They are based out of Korea, I believe. And okay, does it say what colors are in here? I think it might be these two colors, but I'm not sure. There's the made in Korea. Anyhow, their inks are more, I think they were more natural based if memory serves. I'll have to double check on that. But their packaging is really cool. You can go on the website and they have the Pantone colors, so you can really look up what the colors are going to look like and things like that. They have a lot of little extra things. And it says season 7, so that's like their 7th edition, I think it is. And these are the inks that were in that. Oh yeah, it must be this box here with, ooh, CoStar, which looks like it could be similar to Sailing Stone, which is an ink I really like. And then this one, SM1. They usually have like some detailed thing that talks about, you know, how they came up with the name, and I love looking those up too. So when at the end, when I look up prices and stuff, I'll make sure to do that too. Then we have a napkin, and like, I don't know what these are. I haven't bought a bottle, like, I haven't bought a set like this. So let's see what this is, because I'm intrigued. Oh, I think this is so you could like swatch them maybe? I don't know. Oh, it says pen stand. Okay. So maybe you like prop it up and put your pen there, and then maybe this is a bookmark and a cocktail napkin and some cool some cool little stickers of their different labels. So, okay, I'm going with bookmark for this one, and it has the little, whatever that is. I'm not sure what it is, but it has that, and it has like kind of the star shape. And then this says pen stand on it, so it has little grooves, and it says in, so I guess maybe you like do something like this. I'm gonna look. But it's like a cool extra, right? And then their bottles are really interestingly designed. So they're like little comets. Oh, it's still cold from being outside because I just brought it in. So this is a 65 milliliter, and the other one is 15. So MS1 and CoStar. So we'll swatch these in a minute, but I want to see what pen we got. So the only platinum that I have is actually a platinum Preppies here right now. It's my like travel pen that I got this last year. It's just like a cheapy, like $12, $13 pen. So I had been thinking about upgrading and trying out one of the higher end platinums. So this should be really fun. Okay, so it says Plat PNB. Oh, and they did come with different nib sizes. So you don't know what nib size you're going to get or what color, because there may be different colors of the pen and different nib sizes. So, oh, it looks really nice. It's red. Okay. Oh, and it's translucent red. Oh my gosh. It reminds me of my Pilot Custom 74. So I will bring that out in a minute to look at them side by side. So inside the box, which is a really nice sturdy box, I don't know what kind of material this is. It kind of feels papery, but like it has something underneath. It's like plasticky, if that makes sense. So it looks nice. And this is really plush in here, much nicer than some of the other pens that I've seen. And then under here, we have our ink cartridge. Now I did discover, because I have one of their ink cartridges in here, they have this little metal ball. And so I do have some issues with the metal ball occasionally getting in the way and disrupting the ink flow, which I found interesting. I think this is the only converter that I've had that has one of those metal balls, so I don't know if that's just a them thing. Oh, so this number 3776 Century User's Manual. So that must be the name of the pen. I don't know a lot about platinums. So this is our little manual that I can't read. But that's okay. Oh, I can read maybe this. Nope. That's Spanish. Oh, no. Wait, okay. So do we have an English? No, that's French. Oh, English. Here we go. So this tells you how to use your fountain pen. So there's our manual. And then we have a warranty card here that you fill out. It looks like a 1-year warranty on that. Before I ink up this pen, I think it's really fun to swatch out these new fountain pen colors, since I'm going to use one of them to ink up the pen anyhow. Probably this one because I think it has a red sheen. But let's go ahead and make our coloring swatches, let them dry, and I can compare them to other things for you guys. Now that everything is all dry, let's take a closer look at these inks. But I also wanted to share a little bit more about the ink company in general. And Colorverse is a really interesting company based out of Korea, like I said, and they really pride themselves on natural based inks. So inks that are using plant bases for the dyes, so they don't have that chemical smell that you sometimes get with like a Pilot ink, or especially with Sailor inks, I've found. So if those are things that bother you, I highly suggest checking out these inks. I've been really happy with all the ones that I have, and I just think they're a really fun company and very unique in the way they do things, and they're so good at theming. I love the theming. Speaking of their theming, season 7, or the 7th release maybe that this ink company did, all of the inks in that release are all based around the Hubble Space Telescope, which I think is really cool. Everything is somehow connected with that. So the first ink here, the SM1, actually stands for Service Mission 1, which was the mission that they took to the Hubble Space Telescope to fix it when it was all blurry. And I'm not sure how that correlates to the ink itself and the color they chose, but I really think that's a cool fact, and I really love the theming that they did around that. As far as the color itself, it's a really beautiful teal color with this red sheen, and the sheen almost has like a purplish hue to it with its intensity and everything. And you can even see it down here in my little swatch that I do with my Q-tip, which not all the inks get. So it really shows you how much sheening we're getting from this ink. As far as colors that I have in my collection that are kind of close, I was surprised at how many teal red combinations I really have. So I only picked out, I think, 4 or 5 that I felt were really close and would give you a good idea what the color really looks like, because depending on the lighting and your screen, colors can vary a lot. The first color that I pulled out was Diamine's Aurora Borealis. I think the undertones are close-ish, but not the same. It kind of more matches in this area, and I just really have this here as a reference point, not as an exact match type deal. Then I went to Wearingle, and I have this Wearingle ink called From Whom the Bell Tolls. I only had a sample of it, so I don't currently have some, but I think the underlying tones are pretty similar. The amount of sheen may be similar. It might be more intense for Whom the Bell Tolls. It's really hard to tell without side-by-side writing samples, but they both have that really intense kind of red sheen going on. And the underlying colors are probably about as close as I can get in my collection. Now, bringing in a couple of newer colors, because I know a lot of my viewers have the Diamine Inkpen calendars, so we're going to pull in two from this year. The first one is actually day one. This is the Celestial Skies, which I can't wait to get a bigger bottle of this. But it has a lot of those similar blue tones. Like, I think that lighter tone at the top is almost an exact match for the undertones of this. This obviously has more to it with that gold shimmer, and I think the red tones are slightly different. You can really see here how this one lends a little bit more purple, which I thought was interesting. And then the last one that I have here to kind of show you is also from the Inkpen. This is day 25, More the Merrier. And I do think that these on a base level are pretty close. It's just this one has blue shimmer as well. You guys let me know if those are close enough to give you a really good idea of the color of this ink. Then we have CoStar. CoStar is actually an acronym, which I had no idea. So CoStar, let me see if I can get this right, stands for the Corrective Optical Space Telescope Axle Replacement. So this is the part that they had to replace on the Hubble Space Telescope to get it to work. And I have no idea how brown kind of goes with that, but evidently it does. So here is our brown color. It's a cooler brown with a lot of shading going on. And honestly, on here, it just looks like a normal ink. But when I swatched it on the Tomoe River paper, which I'm going to pull over in just a second, it has this wow factor, this almost golden element to it that I'm not seeing on the swatch here. So I think it's really important for you to see that. There will be other writing on this page. It's kind of my note page, but here are the swatches, and you can really see how this one almost has like a goldenness to it. I can't quite explain it, but it's really cool. So cool, in fact, that there's a part of me that wishes the bottles were reversed and that CoStar was our bigger bottle. I don't know that they've ever released it on its own or in a bigger bottle, but I kind of wish they would. We'll see how it works once I have it in a pen, because I haven't inked it up yet, but I really, really like these colors. Now, I don't have a ton of browns. It's something I've been adding to slowly this year, but I do have a couple that I feel get close enough to give you an idea. The first is from Pilot, and this is their Yamaguru, I think is how you say that. And this has a much greener hue, but falls in the general category of the brown. This is just a lot warmer and a lot greener than this other hue. So if that gives you a little bit of a reference point. The next one that I pulled out was actually from Esterbrook, and this is the Coffee Monster Co. collab where she did the Forgotten Iced Coffee. Love this color so much. And again, this is a warmer brown and has more green and maybe even a little bit more shading to it. But we're getting close enough, I think you can get an idea of the color itself. And the last one I pulled out is the color that when I originally put it down, I was like, oh, this reminds me of Sailing Stone. Sailing Stone was a Colorverse ink in the 2024 ink vent. Unfortunately, the only way that you could get that ink was to have the ink vent, because only 3 of those colors they make into bigger bottles. So this is Sailing Stone. It is lighter and I think warmer, but it does have some of those same qualities, so I can see why I originally went to this. I kind of think maybe Forgotten Iced Coffee is a little closer, only with green in it, but I don't know. I'm interested to see which one do you guys think is the closest. All right, now that I found the converter and I have this completely inked up, let's take some closer looks at the pen itself and compare it to some other pens that I have, and then we'll do a writing test. So it's a beautiful, beautiful dark red color. That's that burgundy coming out. I did look it up. It is the French pronunciation of Burgundy for the French wine district and the wine, which I think really fits with the color of the pen. Now, I did see one review that says the pen doesn't come with a converter, so it might depend on which pen you got from this. I did get the one with the silver trim here. They have a gold version as well. I think the silver is more recent, but I could be wrong on that. It is a very nice cigar shaped pen. It reminds me a lot of my Pilot Custom 74, so we will do a side by side in just a minute of that. As far as build quality, it seems really nice. The resin seems very nice. Again, it reminds me of what I have in my Custom 74, so if you like that type of design, I think it maybe is a little bit bigger around, but I could be wrong on that. The clip is very simple. You're not going to get it caught on anything. It does seem very sturdy and has a metal ring here that attaches it. And then we do have a nice metal ring here that says made in Japan and 3776 platinum there. So very nice. I did do a little research on what the 3776 stands for. And it appears to be that back when they were creating this pen, which I think was in the 70s, I could be wrong on that, there was a very famous pen writing expert who really wanted to make the perfect pen. And so he worked with platinum to create the original pen. This has been upgraded in 2011, I think it was. But he really wanted the perfect pen, the perfect balance, the perfect flow and everything. And so they worked together to make this. And the 3776 stands for the exact altitude of Mount Fuji in Japan, which I know there's probably a bigger connection there. I just don't know the culture enough to know the significance of that, but I do think it's really cool. As far as the inside workings here, so we do have a screw off, and then the nib is a little bit unique. The breather hole kind of has this heart shaped to it, which I think is really cool. I like the simplicity of the design there. I'm sorry about the glare, but it is really nice. It is also just slightly different, I think, than my other nibs, and that it feels a little flatter and more spread out, so it feels bigger. We do have the engraving of the 3776 there, as well as the P for platinum, I believe. And then below that we have the 14 karat and your nib size. This one's a broad, which I don't have a lot of broads, so I'm excited about that. As far as the grip section here, there is a slight step down, and we do have the threads here. I tend to grip kind of like this, well, in the correct orientation. And I don't, like, I notice that they're there, but they're not like distracting or uncomfortable, at least in the small writing session I've done with it so far. I don't feel any sharp edges or anything like that. Now, when they did redesign this pen, they included a special feature in the cap section. So it has what's called a slip and seal cap. If I can get the light just right, you can see the spring mechanism in here, as well as there's a cap and cap mechanism. Now, when you put this on and close it completely, it's supposed to be airtight in there. So I think they guarantee it for at least a year. I heard one report of 2 years that the ink's not supposed to dry out. I never leave ink in my pens that long, but if you are a person who, puts ink in their pen for very long periods, you might want to keep that one in mind. As far as the rest of the body goes, it's just very smooth. You do have a slight, girthierness at the middle, and then it kind of tapers off. And the inside workings, now I did have a platinum converter that I pulled out to go in here. I know my friend who also got one of these boxes, her pen came with a converter. I did send off an email just to ask if it was supposed to come with a converter or not, because I'm not sure. And I haven't heard back as of yet. I did see one review that said that they don't, so I'm not holding that against them in any way, just letting you know. Now, as far as pens that I have that are similar in size and just some general size comparisons for you, we're going to start off with a TWSBI Diamond 580. I feel like a lot of people have a TWSBI, so it's easy to compare to. And the TWSBI is just a hair, capped at least, taller than this and has a more boxy shape. This is a Esterbrook SD, and I feel like this is a more substantial difference. I feel like the SD is quite a bit longer and more tapered at the ends than the Platinum. I also feel like a lot of people have the Sailor Progrers. They're super popular, so in comparison to the Sailor, it's quite a bit longer than the Sailor is, and there's a lot of similarities, I feel like, when you look at these side by side, especially in the middle section and the design quality. The big difference being the more taperedness. I'm not sure of the affiliation between Sailor and Platinum, if they have one or not, but they do seem very similar, which is interesting to me. Then we have the Pilot Custom 74. This is the pen that when I grabbed my new pen, I was like, these feel very similar. And the Pilot Custom 74 is currently my favorite pen. It writes super smooth and I just love the design of it. So I would say that they're about the same length. They have a very similar shape, although the Pilot I think is a little bit slimmer, and you know, obviously there's some other different design elements, but they do feel really close. I feel like if you like one, you're probably gonna like the other, though not guaranteed. Let's show you how this writes. Actually, it surprised me. So I'm going to bring over all my notes. I did this last night when I was filming. I wasn't happy with this portion, so I'm refilming it. But it writes really smoothly. You do get a little bit of feedback, kind of like you would in a pencil, but it's a very light feedback, and I don't mind it. Let me zoom you in a little bit here, and we'll do a little writing sample down here at the bottom for you. And it's a very, oh, that's the first. It's a very wet writer, and I think that's because it's a broad and just feels very smooth. As far as quickness, it seems to keep up really, oh, I had one little skip there. That might have been a me though. But it seems to keep up really well. As far as wetness, feels really wet to me. Again, could be that broad aspect. As far as line width, now I did use a ruler to make this a line here, and I have this cute little gadget from Dominant Industries. So let's see if we can match up how big this line is. I'm thinking, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's around a 0.6 or a 0.7. Like somewhere, I'm leaning more to 0.6, and I know because it's a Japanese pen that the nib sizes tend to be a little smaller. They tend to have a finer point, so that would make sense to me. Let me know what you guys think though. I'm going to put my 0.6 over here as my guess. Well, I'm going to say 0.6 to 0.7 because I'm not really sure, and these actually feel even thicker than that, so I don't know. I was worried that the writing would, like, it would be too thick for my writing to do these. I don't love having this bold of writing in everything, but for headings and things like that, I think it's going to work really well with some of my more shimmery inks that I've gotten and allow me to explore a little bit more. That's part of what I love about these mystery boxes, is that you get pens or nib sizes that you wouldn't have normally gotten, and it really adds to the pen experience. So for that reason specifically, I love these type of boxes. All right, let's talk value. So I've gone on the website and looked up the amount of everything. You might have seen it on that paper I showed you. So I did find the exact Goldspot canvas tote. They are selling this for $10. I am a little, like, I feel like they should have cleaned up all these little extra tidbits a little bit. I can trim them, and I do see a loose thread here. Not like huge things. And I do like the elevate your writing that's on the back of this. And I think that it's going to work just fine. I just wish the build quality was slightly better, but they are selling it for $10. So that's our value here. As far as the inks go, love the inks, love Colorverse inks. These are big size bottles. At least the SM1 is, and the value of the box, so there is an MSRP of $38, but they are selling it for $34.20 currently. So there's both of your cost on that one. And then the pen was a little trickier for me. And I think it's because as of January 1st, there was a price hike, a substantial one, in the platinum pens. I believe it was about 40%. A lot of the pen companies, especially for their gold nib pens, there's been a huge price hike. I think the price of gold has gone up like something around the realm of 60%. So that's part of it. The inflation and tariffs is also, I'm sure, playing into price points. So on Goldspot's website, this pen has an MSRP of $460. And if you were to go in the store and purchase it right now, it would be $368. Now, I did do some price comparison to other shops. Pen Chalet has it at the same price point. Atlas has it much lower at an MSRP of $330, and you can buy it for $264. I don't know if that price reflects the current price hike, and they are sold out there right now. So when they get restocked, I don't know if that price is going to increase. Jet Pens has it for $344. They don't have an MSRP on the site, and Yoseka also has it for that $344. So that's kind of the realm we're talking about, and you can kind of gauge for yourself on where Goldspot falls as far as their pricing on that part. I did add everything up. We were supposed to get $508 of value off the MSRP. I believe they did state that in the description. So when I added up Goldspot's MSRP, I do get that $508. If I were to go into Goldspot themselves and buy everything, it was $412.20. Either way, you're getting a substantial savings. Even if you go with the fact of buying this pen at one of those other stores that has a lower price point, you're still talking of over $100 in savings. So I do think this box really knocks it out of the park in every way possible and just comes up with some amazing pens. You're not getting a junk pen. You're getting something substantial. You're getting nice ink. You get an accessory. Sometimes the accessories, like this time, I'm kind of on it, but I also find it useful. I know I will find uses for it. And it's not like they're charging an astronomical sum for it. I feel like $10 is a good price point for what you're getting. I just wish they had, cleaned up the edges a little bit. That's all. So overall, super happy with my box. I'm so glad I was able to snag one of these. I was able to let you guys know when the box came available. It did sell out that first day. I tried to post it on my Instagram, which is where I went first, but I also posted it in my post. So if you were able to get one, I'm so happy for you. These are really great boxes. I'll try in the future to make sure I'm posting both places. I just didn't think of the YouTube post location right away, and I posted there as soon as I did. So if I see another box go on sale, my guess would be April. I think that's what they've done in the past, which is my birthday month. So you know I have to get one. I will try and make sure to post that. You can also sign up for their newsletter. And by doing that, you'll get an email letting you know that the dips are coming out, because they don't really advertise them until they're ready. I'm pretty sure what they do is they box them all up. And so as soon as your order comes in, they can just slap on a shipping label and ship them out, which is why they don't take any color or nib size requests. That would just be too much. And with that, they can ship out either the same day or the next morning, and you get it right away. Like, the shipping time on this to me was 2 days, which is incredible. So anyhow, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of this box. Would you order one? Because you know I obviously would. And let me know if there's any other mystery boxes you guys want me to try out this year. I love a mystery box, so I'm totally willing to put my money there and check them out. Anyhow, that's all I have for today, and until next time, I'll see you real soon.